Have you ever made a mistake while involved in an activity that didn't involve a computer of any sort and wished you could Control-Z to undo it? I have, frequently. But then, I'm the sort of guy who, when I sit down to draw a picture, grabs one pencil and 2 erasers. One of my favorite things about HitFilm is how easy it is to undo and change things. I'm Axel Wilkinson for HitFilm.com, and this video will look at the undo history in HitFilm 3 Pro. The History panel in HitFilm gives you a visual list of every step you take in the program. So here you can see that I have imported some media, added it to the timeline, and started adding a few effects. Now, as I continue working on the project, adding new effects and adjusting some of the effect settings, every step I take is recorded in the History panel. Our traditional undo-redo commands are available using Control-Z or Command-Z on the Mac for undo, and Shift-Control-Z, Shift-Command-Z on the Mac to redo. If we undo repeatedly, we walk back through the history, one step at a time. Redo works the same way, and sometimes if the History panel is hidden, these can be quite useful. But from the History panel, we can instantly step back to any stage in the history of our session. Instead of mashing keys 15 times and watching the viewer to see when we get to the point we need, we can just look at the visual list of actions and select the stage that we want. The history is also quite useful for comparisons. Developing an effect or a grading look might involve some experimentation as you add and edit various effects, trying different possibilities and combinations to see what works. After going through various options and trying different ideas, you can use the History panel to easily compare different states that are several steps apart. Comparing various stages of your project in this way can be quite useful, and the History panel gives you a convenient list that makes it quite easy. One thing to keep in mind when doing this, if you step back in the history and then edit the settings of an effect or anything else, all of the future steps in the history will be lost and replaced by your new action. The history will run as long as your project is open in HitFilm. It is not saved into the project. So if you save and close your project, then reopen it, the history will start from 0 again. But if you save your project during a session and continue working, even after performing additional edits and adjustments to your project, you can still step back to a state before you saved. The number of states stored in the history can be specified in the HitFilm options on a Windows machine or the preferences on a Mac. In the General tab, the maximum undo can be adjusted up or down as you require. The History panel is visible in all of the default workspaces, but if it ever gets closed for any reason, then you can reopen it from the View menu by simply selecting it in the panel's list. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this info useful. Check out our YouTube channel for more videos on HitFilm 3 Pro, and until next time, farewell.